Do you tick more if you tick and if you suppress for a bit, they calm down? If I suppress, it gets worse. They don't calm down, they get more frequent. If I suppress, it just builds and builds and builds. Like when you try to hold in a cough. Have any of you tried to hold in a cough? Because that's what it's like when you try to suppress a tick. I could try and do it, but it'd be really stressful and exhausting. But I could try and suppress for a little bit, if you guys like. And you could see what happens to me after when I just like, bah! You know? I have like, it's uncomfortable and I don't like doing it, but we can do it for science if you like. Suppress for a minute. I will see. Like, I will get up like a little timer. We can see how long I can hold the tick for. So I'm gonna start now, and I'm gonna stopwatch. Okay, I'm gonna actually actively try to suppress for as long as I can, and we'll see what happens after. Although I wouldn't worry, it's not harmful, it's just uncomfortable. Like, I don't feel like it's gonna cause me any harm because my throat isn't sore. It's not like wearing at me in any way, so it's all good. I wouldn't offer to do this if it was gonna cause me any harm. I can tell you what it feels like right now. I can tell, like, the motor tics, so the body tics are pretty much impossible for me to suppress, and I get even more frequent as I suppress harder and harder. It's so much harder to suppress motor tics, and I can feel what the sensation feels like right now is I can feel it's a verbal tick about to come out of me, and I'm catching it. Like, I'm paying such close attention to my tick right now, and I'm holding in every single verbal one, and because it's not getting out, it's beating harder from within me. Like, every time it tries to get out the door but it's shut in, it pushes harder, so it gets more and more difficult. And the sensation is like a build up in the chest, so like right now it just feels like an expanding pressure. And yeah, it feels like quite intense, and I can feel it's really making the motor tics much more frequent. I can feel them really building as well. Like, it's almost like it's compensating, but the thing is, motor tics are so much harder for me to catch. So much harder for me to catch. Related to that, I can't really suppress to calm down. Like, I can't. Oh, that was it. That was the first one. So I can last 2 minutes 54 seconds before a fuck happens. But I'm gonna keep the timer on just because I'm still suppressing. I want to see how long I can actually keep it up. How long can you do this? I don't know. It's actually much more of a struggle today than it usually is. Like, usually I can go longer. But I think it's because the mixture of caffeine and all the distractions is making it harder. If you're feeling upset or anxious, do they become more frequent? I will say they become more frequent in any time of high emotion. So if I'm really happy or sad or angry or jealous or amazed or surprised or scared, just anything. It doesn't have to be doesn't have to be a bad emotion. Just any emotion will make it happen, really. So yeah, any emotion will make it more frequent, except sadness. Sadness seems to deplete it. For having intense focus on stuff really helps. Wow, like the build-up feels really strong now, and I know it's been a really short amount of time. It's coming up on 6 minutes. I don't know why it's so hard at the moment. It's not harmful. It's mildly uncomfortable, but it's not harmful. It's just difficult. It's just difficult. That's all. It just takes a lot of just takes a lot of focus is all. It's interesting. It's interesting because I don't do this intentionally unless it's like a really strong situation, like a situation where it would be really devastating to tick at that point, and it doesn't always succeed. So it's interesting suppressing and just finding out my limits as well, actually. Don't worry about me, folks. It's uncomfortable, but it's not painful, and it's not causing me any harm. It's just interesting for me. I wouldn't worry too much. And I'm doing this completely voluntarily and purely out of curiosity. So I'm just doing this because I want to find out. I figured you guys would be interested too. And gradually my face is hating it and is just like all over the place. There are so many physical sensations that are coming with suppressing this. Like I can feel a heat traveling around my body now. I can feel tingly, like my fingertips feel tingly. I'm so surprised at how much of a physical response I'm having. Like this isn't, is this psychosomatic? Is this induced by purely a mental reaction inducing like a physical reaction, or is this physical reaction happening because of something I'm genuinely doing to my brain by suppressing? I don't know. I don't fully understand why it feels this way, but it's so interesting. But yeah, don't worry, I won't do it. I won't continue if it's legit painful. Yeah, I'll stop if it's painful. Don't worry. I think it's physical. Yeah, the way I think about it is that sometimes when I have a tic, it feels like an electrical jolt that runs from my spine to my limb. Like with a motor tic, sometimes it feels like a shooting spasm, almost like a zing that goes from my brain down my spine to my arm or my shoulder and makes me jolt. And it feels like, I don't know if you've ever touched an electric fence, but it feels like a forced movement by an electrical jolt. Like it feels like really hard, like chung chung chung, and it can, like, that's what it feels like. But yeah. So there is a very physical sensation that feels like so non-mental, that feels so like a bodily reaction. So I do believe that there's a very physical element to Tourette's. I don't know that it's necessarily a mental disorder purely. I think it has lots of psychological influences, but I don't think that it's purely psychological at all. It's probably your nerves. Yeah, I agree that it's probably very much related to the nervous system. You see, You see, you see, serotonin and dopamine. Serotonin and dopamine regulate your movement, your hunger, your sleep, and your ability to do things. Sometimes when people get depressed, they have such a depletion in dopamine that they can no longer get up and move themselves around, and they become floppy and unable to move. So I can very much believe that the lack of those neurochemicals in the brain can, or an overproduction of those neurochemicals in the brain can cause a hyper response in terms of movement. That is such a layman's, I'm not an expert, that is such a layman's kind of guess at the whole way it works, but because people would, with Tourette's have an overproduction of dopamine, I'd imagine that that is actually heavily impacting the nervous system and your whole body's ability to move and just stimulate. Fuck! Okay, I have a dick. 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 I have a tasty fucking dick. Okay, that's as far as I got. What? Six fucking cunts. 16 minutes in. Oh, you're gonna have to forgive me now because that's gonna fuck my friends. That's gonna fuck. I have a dick. I have a fucking dick. I have a dick. I have a dick. Okay. Oh, it's weird. Oh, it's weird. Oh, it's weird because it's not making the build-up feeling go away. Yeah, I don't feel like a deflated balloon at all. Like, I don't feel like that's actually got it out of my system. Fuck the queen at all. I really fucked. Oh. Ooh. Hey. Right. Okay. Well. I still feel really weird and blushy and like there's heat all over my body. I still feel like there's a big build-up that hasn't been released. It's not like I expected the first tick to just feel like a burst balloon and everything would feel fine, but nope. Okay. So that was interesting. I suppressed for 16 minutes and it felt like a slowly expanding balloon within my chest, and I felt heat rushing around to different regions of my body, especially my face and fingertips. I had many more motor tics that were completely unsuppressible, and they seemed to increase with the suppression. The more I focused on not saying it, the more it got worse. And now I kind of just feel like wired. I feel like really wired. I feel tense and I feel like I could shout for 1,000 years and not have compensated for those 16 minutes. It feels weird. Can I fuck your friends? Can I fuck them? Hey, would you like him? Hey, would you like a dick? Huh? 16 minutes in. Okay. Oh, it's weird because it's not make the build up feeling go away. Yeah, I don't feel like a deflated balloon at all. Like, the more I focus on not saying it, the